Florio again on how the disciplinary hearing could very well play out after a decision is rendered.
There are two sides with a huge gap in the middle, and it's very difficult to find middle ground. There are the people who say he shouldn't be suspended at all, he didn't do anything, there's no proof. And then there's people who say suspend him for life or at least a full season. So the NFL has to make its decisions in light of the fact that you've got these two polar extremes. And I think waiting for Judge Robinson to make her decision makes it easier for the NFL to then try to settle it. But remember, the NFL's got the hammer at that point. As long as she imposes any discipline on him whatsoever, the NFL has the hammer. The commissioner on appeal can enhance it to whatever he wants. He's only limited by her factual findings. He would have to take her factual findings and say, okay, I accept these. I have no choice but to accept them. But I think under these facts, the way the personal conduct policy applies to these facts, the punishment should be much more than what someone who was a federal judge for 25 years had concluded. But he still has the power to do it. And in theory, there's nothing the union can do after that under the CBA. I know they can go to court, but again, judges don't like to get involved when private parties have put together a comprehensive system for resolving their differences.
And with that, let's welcome in G. Bush. He is the host of The Barbershop, 8 until noon, 92.3 The Fan. Also co-host of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. You can see that Monday through Friday, 11 until 1. So G. Bush, a lot to talk about there. The more you hear about the things that are coming out with some of the claimants, the more it doesn't make any sense. It's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, see, this to me, the league has a problem right here because Buzzy Beebe is a very smart attorney. And I've been saying it for a very long time. I've done videos on this, 3 different parts of the series. When I read the initial documentation filed by Harden, who is Deshaun Watson's attorney, I looked at it from a standpoint of saying, well, they're claiming there's 8 or 9 different things wrong with these allegations, right? You got people saying that they're willing to testify under oath that, hey, this person said, hey, I really wasn't, Deshaun Watson didn't do anything, but I mean, now he's under investigation, and if he would offer me a little more money, I would have probably told him the exact opposite of what's going on. Right now, you're starting to see that Busby was a very good lawyer in playing this out and leaking things and not being specific, right? When you're not specific and you just throw out sexual assault allegations, the way the human mind works is you go right to what's the most pressing. You're thinking, oh my gosh, this is a rape case, 20 some odd cases of this, or like he's doing. But when you break it down, the thing that jumps out of people is, well, I don't know why they're surprised. There was no coercion, there was no force. We only had 2 cases in which we even argued. 2 of our clients out of the 24 argued that there was anything forced, coerced, or violent, or anything of that. There was none of that happened. Now you get information about different individuals with somebody with a recording with a son saying, yeah, my mom told me to be quiet about it. She was going to pay for my silence. And she was fine. She told completely different story than when Deshaun Watson wasn't going through allegations. But when the allegations came, she changed her tune. The league has that's a tough problem, because now this is 2 weeks in a row where we hear things and we're like, now people are saying, well, hold on, wait a minute. Well, the grand jury, they declined to bring any charges, 2 of them. Now you're telling me last week there was no coercion or force or nothing? You had 12 cases the NFL had, 12, right? They only used 5 of the women's testimonies, and some of them, they never met with them personally. So now you get to the point where you're saying to yourself, coupled on top of that with the fact that, yes, Mike Florio is correct. Judges won't get into something that's collectively bargained, right? They say you guys had already came up with the way that things work. If the letter of the law is the letter of the law, we're going to have to go with that. But they got one problem. They actually have 3. You've had 3 people that are owners that specifically state they are held to a higher standard that got nothing, 0. And they had to admit that to the judge. That not only did they violate the policy, but they got no punishment. So you take all that included in all of this stuff, and it looks as if a lot of people are coming to the conclusion of, well, what are you suspending him for? But I'm just trying to figure it out because the league hasn't spelled it out. Nobody else has spelled it out. I'm trying to figure out what the punishment and what is the suspension for a year. And by the way, unprecedented punishment for.
Yeah, and the flip side of it is they interviewed 12. You know, you heard 24. The NFL talked to 12. They only brought 5. It just keeps decreasing in numbers as well. So again, Sue L. Robinson gets the briefs Monday. She probably will take a week, maybe even a little bit longer, because she doesn't want to look like you're rushing through it. And then we'll get her decision, and then it will go from there.